Offensive line, we'll just leave it the same. The one thing I will say, or I looked at though, was DeCastro at guard.
Over who?
Versus who was it? Mankins. But it's tough to make that argument though because
big fella.
Huh?
Maybe
in term we're talking decade though, 2010 to 2015. Here's what I will say.
I put him over Zach Martin. I ain't banking.
Dude, I mean, all I can go off is Pro Bowls and All Pro. That's all I can go off.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's all I can go off.
I was like, what? Wait a minute, bro.
So they both tied in Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
5-time Pro Bowler for each. DeCastro has one more All Pro, 2-1. The problem is DeCastro played 8 seasons, Mankins 6. So I don't really have that strong of a case here for DeCastro versus Mankins. But that's why I guess I can ask you, does DeCastro deserve the spot over any of the other guys for guard?
For me, man, I would have put him over Zach Martin. I felt like, but the biggest thing is when we're trying to compare offensive linemen, a lot of these guys, the way that you make the argument for them is, okay, well, how many 1,000-yard rushers did they have behind them, or how many sacks are they allowing, and things like that. Now, when I look at Zach Martin, I felt like as a whole, he played with the Cowboys offensive line that was a lot better than the Steelers were for over the duration. Whereas we had in Pittsburgh a 2 to 3 year window where it was like, okay, it's a legit argument who's the better offensive line. But I felt like for the long-term part of it, the Cowboys had the better line, which is why I think Zach Martin, when we talk about the Pro Bowls and All Pros and stuff, a lot of that goes with that. If you're part of a dope line, they're going to say, well, man, all these dudes should be getting that. All those guys. And you saw all of them got paid.
And DeCastro early on, our line wasn't like that yet.
And that's
it wasn't like
my
that.
thing. So it's like, even though I personally feel DeCastro's the better player.
Yeah.
When you're going off of the Pro Bowls, All Pros, and just the name recognition, you playing with the Cowboys, when their offensive line, even when they weren't elite, they still were talked about as them being elite.
Yeah.
Whereas even when the Steelers offensive line started becoming good, we're talking 14, 15, right? They still weren't talked about like that.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing with that. So for me personally, I would put DeCastro over Zach Martin. But when you're just looking at just the simple who got the accolades and stuff like that, then obviously it goes in favor of Zach.
So you're sticking with Mankins.
Yeah, Mankins.
Castro and Yanda.
Yeah.
Okay.